Hey guys, Chad here from CNR Reviews. We are going to be doing another gun comparison today, and this is with the Bersa BP9CC versus the Kahr CW9. Now, if you look at both of these just offhand, you set them next to each other, they almost look the same. To me, I would almost think if I took away the Bersa logos, this would be a Kahr CW9 in black. And they look very similar to me. But they're not actually. The Bersa has got some kind of different features than the Kahr. We're going to be going over those today. We're going to be talking about a weight comparison between these two, and we're also going to be talking about size comparisons. Now these are both 9mm subcompacts. The Kahr CW9 we have tested extensively, and it has been a phenomenal gun for our arsenal. I would really highly recommend it as a carry weapon. The Bersa we've also completed our testing with, and is also a great gun. So the difference is that this gun is new. This gun has been on the market for less than a year. I had heard rumors about this trying to be imported from Bersa, and if you guys are familiar with Bersa, you're probably familiar with the Bersa Thunder 380s. That's really what they're known for. They do have just a wide range of other guns. Most of them are steel frame, and I believe this is the first offering they ever did with a polymer frame pistol. Now the Kahrs are phenomenal guns as well. Kahr is a, well, you have the CW series, which is their cheaper series. You have the PM series or PW series. You have a whole bunch of different versions of these guns. Now, like I said, the CW is their budget version, but it's by no means a cheap gun. It is a great gun. It still has the great Kahr trigger. It's got some really neat features as well. Let's go ahead and let's talk about those. We have the, let's start with the Bersa. Now the Bersa has, like I said, it's a polymer pistol. It's 3-dot combat sights, but it does have something unique with the sights. The rear sight is replaceable with a Glock rear sight, and the front sight is replaceable with a SIG factory sight. So that's kind of a neat combination, if you can get your hands on a rear Glock sight by itself. I know you can buy the SIG front sights by themselves. It does have a 8+1 capacity, which is kind of nice. It comes with 2 magazines. Both of them are 8-round mags. Other than that, it's a pretty bare bones, very simple gun. It's designed to be pulled, have the bullet chambered, and go ahead and put a round on target. The trigger is also very unique in this gun. And when I say that, I'll show you the trigger. Kind of pivots at the bottom. You have maybe a little bit of slack there as it pivots itself, and then it breaks immediately. It's a very light trigger. It's got to be one of the lightest triggers of any of the subcompacts I have ever shot. Trigger's got to be less than 5 pounds, to be honest with you. If I can get a hold of something to measure it, I will, but it is ridiculously light. So I recommend if you decide to carry something like this, you holster it, just to be safe. Now the Kahr, as far as features go, is it's very similar to the Bersa. They're pretty bare bones. They're designed to be very simple, where they don't have the manual safeties and stuff. You go ahead and you pull the gun and you pull the trigger, if need be. This is a 7+1 capacity. You have a very simple combat sight. You basically have a little line in the rear. You dot the eye, and you're ready to go. Put the sights on target and pull the trigger. They both have a very simple slide lock. The slide lock is also the takedown, I guess, lever that you would say. You pull them out, the guns come apart. They're very similar inside. You have the basic spring guide rod system. Both of the guide rods are metal, which I like, and then they have the barrel. Very easy. The one difference on the frame would be that the Bersa has a Picatinny rail in the front. The Kahr has also a very unique trigger. It's actually one of my favorite triggers. It's a very smooth, long, double action pull. Nice, crisp, clean break. And when you practice with this trigger, once you get that trigger figured out, this gun is awesome. You can be amazingly accurate with it. It's very easy, and we always talk about that shootability. It gives you the ability to put rounds on target very easily. Other than that, like I said, as far as features go, they're very similar. The biggest difference is the mag capacity and the triggers. I did end up putting some Talon grips on the polymer on the Kahr, just because the stippling was kind of aggressive. And I will say that the polymer on the Bersa has got to be some of the nicest. It's actually one of the best pistol grips that I have felt on any of these guns. It just grips your hand very nicely. It doesn't have really aggressive stippling. It's a perfect size. You can almost wrap your hand totally around it. If you have small hands, this is a perfect grip for you. Let's quickly talk about size comparison. Let's go and line these guys up. And as you guys will see, the Bersa is just a tad bit longer. I mean, we're talking, it's got to be less than a quarter of an inch in length difference. As far as width goes, they're also very comparable. The optical illusion would basically be that the Kahr is considerably thinner, but it's basically because of the cut and how the Kahr is beveled. They're very similar in width, the Kahr being just a tad bit thinner than the Bersa. And when you consider that both of these have the very large slide release, it is they do stick out just a little bit, as you guys can see. So let's talk about height. Height is also going to be extremely similar. The Bersa is just a tad bit taller. I mean, it's very minimal. And remember, you're getting an extra round with the Bersa. As far as grip size and stuff, the width also extremely similar. I believe the grip on the Kahr is just maybe a little bit thicker than the Bersas, but other than that, they're damn near identical guns. The Bersa just being just a tad bit larger. Let's do some weight testing with these guns. We'll go ahead and get our weight to 0. Let's go ahead and start with the Bersa. Remember, we have an 8+1 capacity, so there's the magazine. There's the gun, and for a total of 9 rounds. And we have a total weight of 24.8 ounces on this guy. Now, I'm using 124 grain American Eagle full metal jacket rounds. The weight is going to change depending on what grainage you use. If you want to carry with whatever round, 115 grain 147, maybe an oddball one like a 134 grain critical duty or something like that, it's going to change the weight of the gun. So I'm weighing this with 124 grain American Eagle, and we said 24.8 ounces on that. Let's go ahead and let's toss the Kahr up there, see how well the Kahr compares. Drop the mag. And we have a 7+1 capacity for a total of 8 rounds. Alright, we got 8 rounds up there, and I am getting a weight of 22.2 ounces, guys. So this guy is over 2.5 ounces lighter than the Bersa. And remember, you are losing a little bit of capacity, but only really 1 round. So the Kahr is significantly lighter than the Bersa, being over 2.5 ounces lighter. Some people are going to say, hey, that's not really a big deal. And some people are going to make a big fuss about it and go, man, that's a huge deal. But I will tell you guys, either one of these guns is very easily concealed. The weight on both of them, they're both lighter than a Glock 26. If you can conceal a Glock 26, you can conceal one of these guys. They also have the benefit of being both very thin, and that just helps with the concealment. So, let's talk about price. Price on both these guys is very similar for the standard price. I was able to buy my Kahr CW9 on sale for $330, but their average price runs around $360, $370. Same with the Bersa. The Bersa runs around $370 in price, and that's what I've seen them priced at. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of videos talking about the Bersa, and so I'm having a hard time like trying to find other reviews on it and stuff. There's only been 1 or 2 out there, and it's a really great gun. Unfortunately, it came out during the time that the M&P Shield was coming out, the Springfield XDS, the SIG 938. A lot of people fall in love with the LC9. You have the CM9 coming out. So this guy's kind of been pushed to the back. This ended up sitting in the gun cabinet at our at Sportco and Fife for months and months and months, and I'd seen this guy sitting there, and I hadn't really thought much about it. It looked too big, whatever, and Ryan and I decided to pull the trigger on it and pick one up. And I've only seen one of these, to be honest with you. But it's a great gun, guys. It has performed awesome. My only hesitation is the trigger, but the trigger is awesome when you do any type of target shooting because it is so light. But I recommend that if you decide to carry it, you want to put it in a holster to protect that trigger. Make sure nothing touches that. And also the same thing with the Kahr. The Kahr trigger is so smooth. You also want to make sure that if you pocket carry this, you put this in some type of a holster or you run this on a hip holster. Because again, that trigger can be depressed and you don't want to have an accidental discharge. So, other than that, guys, they're both phenomenal guns. I really recommend you check out both these guns. If you are in the market for a subcompact, make sure that you go to your local gun shop. I really recommend that you shop your mom and pop shops before you hit the big box stores. They don't have a Bersa, demand they get one in. And check it out. I think it's a phenomenal gun for what it is and for the cost. And then really get a chance to compare both of these guns. They are great subcompact guns. And Ryan and I really highly recommend both of them. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you have any questions regarding either one of these, feel free to ask. Check out our channel if you want to see more videos and more comparisons, more reviews. And this is Chad from CNR Reviews. Have a good day.